This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so the proxy itself is designed for this kind of content allowing or blocking. So URL allowing or blocking, the one reason. And another reason is the privacy reason. So there is a privacy. So for example, the child and and elders are there. So child should not access a certain websites. So those things, some cases when you're trying to access something in the ads, you can see in the left side or right side, you can see there was ads which are inappropriate. So the kids will automatically by default or somehow wrongly they have clicked those ads. It will be leads to some bad content they can see. So that's why the proxy should always there when something these kinds of accidentally clicks off malicious websites or anything. So it will not go to the outside of your network, or it will not connect it to the malicious website. So it will be blocked in the proxy level itself if it is a malicious content or if it is a malware related URLs. Okay, so that is a one reason. Okay, and another reason is, so you can restrict the users. So for example, there was a bunch of people in an organization. So what they will do is, instead of doing their work, sometimes they use regularly accessing their social media sites like a Facebook, Twitter, Orkut, or Instagram, WhatsApp. All these things they will be accessed from the system itself. So in order to, so these things, what happens if they using all these things in a company environment? It was a bandwidth utilization. So if they use a YouTube, for example, so it was a high bandwidth utilization, and 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 the time waste. So the corporate people will use most of the, they will use the and these things, and they spend more time here, and then they will not concentrate on the productivity. So that impacts the productivity of the company. So that's the reason they should not allow this kind of websites. So how does they will do? With the help of proxy. And in terms of security, if one of your system, you have accessed a phishing email, okay, and you click the phishing email, that phishing email contains a link, and you click the link, that link will be going to the attacker website. So the proxy is there, the proxy will be block these specific malware related domains. So how does the proxy knows this? Based on the already bad, based on the known bad domains. So the proxy database already contains the non uh, already contains the bad known bad domains. So for example, this is a proxy. So and the proxy is always maintaining the database. Okay, the database. So which contains all the malware domains. Malware domains in the sense, malware domain means attacker or already bad. Already these domains are already involved in certain attacks. Once the malware domain, any of the system is trying to access the malware domain, the proxy will always compare with the database. Oh yeah, is there any this is the XYZ domain is trying to, user is trying to access. The proxy, what it will do, XYZ will be verified with this database, the proxy database. Okay, the proxy database contains XYZ website, so then obviously it will block. If there is, it will not find this XYZ in the database of proxy, so then only it will allow, otherwise it will be blocked here. Okay, that's how even it will categorize every website, the proxy will be able to categorize. So for example, you are accessing Google categorized as informative, And if you access the Facebook is a social media. If you access a government website, it categorizes as government site. If you access education related, it categorizes it have the capabilities to categorize every website. If something bad, malware comes, so that categorization is something unknown, or if it is already contains in the database, malware domain. Okay, so that's how. If it is an unknown, so what sort of alerts the security guys are monitoring? The proxy alerts are what sort of proxy alerts we are monitoring is if there was any of a URL which categorized as an unknown or malware domain. Okay, so that is what the security guide responsibility. Whenever an alert from the proxy that there was a categorization of there was an unknown category of a website is accessed by the web user, an unknown category, okay, or a malware category URL the user is trying to access. So whether it is allow or block the firewall, sorry, proxy, if they approximate allow or approximate stop, so you will get an alert. A proxy will alert you that so some of a user was trying to access this particular website, and this particular website is categorized as an unknown. So what is your next step? So as a security administrator, so you have the proxy sends send an alert to you, and so you will be monitoring here. Whenever you see this kind of, you start investigating. So what is this website? Where it is? We will discuss this, how to analyze a particular email, particular websites or particular IP addresses. So how to check the whether it is a bad IP or good IP. So we have classes for that. How do we verify the URL or IP address? Okay, so we will discuss that there. So what is the next step? How does the as security analyst what actions you have to take? So there you can see it. So now understand what exactly the proxy will be doing.
Yes.
So any questions on the proxy side?
Yeah, is this proxy customizable? I mean, can I add any
Yeah, yeah,
websites to proxy?
absolutely. So if
Okay,
the
and where is going to create this proxy?
sorry, the yeah first question I understand.
I mean, is it this proxy? Is it paid service? I
Gate
think there is
gate.
a voice lag is there, so you're assuming that, yeah.
Okay, so I understand your question, first question that, so yes, we are customized. So there was a proxy team. There was a separately the proxy will be handled. So there was a separate proxy team. So they will be maintaining the proxy database. Okay, so what is their responsibility is to get the threat intel information, malware domain information, and they will be updating the proxy. So that's how they will customize. And another thing, if if the if a business means if the client or if the company, for example, you're like working in XYZ company and XYZ company, so there are a set of people are continuously accessing a couple of website which is with the content they are trying to access was something was not good, so they are accessing some unwanted content, or they are watching videos regularly and wasting their time. Okay, so and the business people, for example, they are working on a sales department. Okay, those people are who is wasting the time on the sales team. Those are sales team. Okay, now what this people will do is if the sales manager, the team manager got to know this, and they will be intimating to the proxy team that, okay, please block the websites what for example, if they are continuously watching website, please block this YouTube to the complete sales department. Okay, so they will do that. They will write a rule in the proxy level. Okay, this set of this complete sales team shouldn't, they have the some subnet range, so they will mention the subnet range and the website. That's all. They shouldn't access them. You can do that. You can, that's what the proxy team will be doing, the same thing. So they will be adding, removing the people to access. Okay, and what, it's a completely what to access, what should not access, the proxy team will be doing. So whom is, what type of websites should access and what should not access. In terms of security, if some person was trying to access an unwanted sites, so you have to do the investigation. So what sort of websites they are trying to access? Okay, why this specific user is trying to access this malware site? So is this user is compromised? Is this user accessed any of other links? Okay, how does he was accessing these websites? Okay, because of a phishing email, or so we'll go for the complete investigation of that specific user. For example, so there was a person, there was a Prasad. Prasad was Prasad system got proxy server, proxy guy has got an alert that proxy team got an alert, proxy's device has alerted that the Prasad system is communicating to some malicious, trying to communicate a malicious domain and getting blocked from the firewall, so from the proxy level. Then I go security guy, I receive that an alert and I start investigating why the Prasad system is doing a request to that malware domain. So is this Prasad system is compromised? Okay, why it was doing that? Okay, was that system is compromised? Let's go and look into the Prasad system. So why it was doing this? So we'll be performing the complete investigation from the Prasad level, Prasad system. The Prasad system will do the complete investigation. So how does we do the complete investigation of Prasad system? So I have another solution called as endpoint detection and response, or traditionally we can call it as an antivirus. Okay, now, so you understand, right? So why I'm telling this? So we are jumping into the next device is the antivirus. So in order to perform the complete endpoint investigation, so you must have to know about the antivirus. So antivirus functionality is, so every host, there was a AV installed. So next gen AV is a EDR, endpoint detection and response. So this is a new for you guys. So that's why I'm telling as a AV. So what happened if the AV is installed on your device? So it is the, if there was a AV antivirus agent is, it is continuously monitoring your system. Okay, it was continuously monitoring your system. Okay, so this is the AV agent, and AV have the, so every AV agent will be connected to the AV, another server, AV server, and backend there will be a AV signature database. Signature database in the sense, so every known attacks. So last time there was a some company XYZ attack is happened. So what are the, what sort of files are involved, what sort of hash values, like what kind of softwares has been involved in in this specific attack. All right. Okay. The simple example I will tell you. Okay, there was a in one house there was a one robbery is happened. Okay, so there was a robbery is happened. So when the robbery is happened, so there was always the thief can leave certain evidences, correct? And they can also tells you exactly, like for example, if they are coming to your home via a certain windows or certain back doors, they will create. For example, if it is a bank, just imagine like a bank robbery is happening. Okay, so once if they're coming into the robbery, so how what they will be doing, they will be using a couple of rods and other things, then they will create a one hole to bank, and they enter into the bank, and while collecting all the info, like while collecting all the money and other stuff, couple of evidences they will leave, means, so for example, they are touching some portion of in the bank, they will touch these things like doors, or some cases, there was a CC cameras. The CC cameras will record your faces, or those kinds of evidences will be there. So anything, at least some evidence will leave the people. So everyone, so whenever you do any mistake, so there is a certain evidence, certain things will be, certain mistakes will be happens, that mistakes are the evidence to the kind of will be helping for the next level of investigation. Okay, the same way, what happens, and they leave a certain evidences or certain things to, so to the police to do the investigation. With that, so police will do the investigation, what are the evidences they leave. Okay, the same way here also, when there was some attack is happened, so the company has been attacked. Those cases, so they are trying to communicate with your server, what sort of IP addresses they are communicating, and what sort of URLs they are communicating. Okay, and what kind of software, what kind of malicious malware script they have been used. Okay, and once they use a malware script, and once everything is done, how the data has been transferred from your computer to attackers websites, so that website, what website they have been used to upload your data. Okay, and what IP addresses they have been used. So everything will be recorded in your server as well, because your server is doing, right, your server is communicating to attacker IP. Obviously the log will be created in your server, so that every information so will be captured and will be given to the, will be keeping in your internet. So now what the antivirus vendors will do is, they will update all these IPs, URLs, hash values of the malicious script. Okay, everything will be stored in a endpoint AV server database. Now you know that, okay, this attack, if there was a same guy was doing an attack, okay, the same guy was performing an attack on your this system. Now you have your AV server. AV server knows that, okay, for example, 100.10.0.1 or the domain IP address, and the domain is something abc.com. So this is a domain. Okay, now this is related to some malware attack. Okay, some malware attack. Now these IPs and domains already stored in the antivirus server database. What happened if this same malware attacks comes to your system, and your AV server knows, hey, I know this IP has involved in this malware attack, or this specific software script has been involved in this specific attack. Okay, so please make sure block this particular software. For example, so there was a XYZ file was executing. XYZ file was executing. You know that this XYZ file is some related to some malware, and you have the database. So it's always whatever activities. So in your system, whatever the activities are happening, that activity is always compared with the database. If there was some script, some script is executing your system. So, okay, so it always look this is a normal or abnormal. So how does it differentiate normal or abnormal? Based on the database. If the database doesn't contains, it will be a normal. Otherwise, it will be abnormal. So the EDR solutions have the differences is, so antivirus and EDR is, so antivirus only dependent on the database. Only dependent on database. So if the database contains, automatically block that activity. Okay. If, for example, there was a virus file is executing on your system. So if this signature, the database contains this virus hash value. So every virus, every software has a hash value. We'll discuss that. How does the hash value will be calculated? Okay, every file have the hash value. Okay, whatever in your system. For example, if you have the Word file, there was a one unique hash value. At the same time, there was a virus file. That virus file have the hash value, and that hash value will be compared with the antivirus database, and it is there or not. Okay, and it was verified. If it is there only, then only it will block. So what it means is it blocks only the known malware attacks or very known malwares. If it is a that's why the attackers are always coming with a new kind of malware. So it may be a different malwares. It may not be involved in the previous attacks. So that's why what the endpoint security will do is, so it works based on the behavioral model. So behavior model is something based on the system behavior. Okay, for example, if I have executed one specific software, my system is suddenly started becoming a very slow, or some unwanted unwanted things are running over the system. So that is an abnormal behavior. So those behavioral identity, the system have this EDR have the artificial, they have a lot of AI solutions AI solutions and machine learning solutions are integrated. So these things will help to identify the unknown threats as well. Unknown threats based on the behavior. So it is not dependent on only the known malware attacks. It is also doing other functionalities, like advanced functionalities, like behavior based. So behavior based identification of threat. So if the system behavior is something wrong, suddenly becoming slow, and unwanted process are creating. Okay, so for example, if you see here the task manager, if you go to the task manager, and you can see that your CPU, your system CPU, and so what are the process are running. Okay, you can see all the details here. Okay, so you can see a lot of what are the things are running, and the performance. Okay, all these things we will discuss more about it later part. So what are the apps are running, and what are the files are running, what are the process are created. So everything you can see. So these are the process are running in the system. Okay, see here a lot of background. So there was a antivirus. These are all antivirus solutions, McAfee antivirus solutions. Different sort of services are running. Okay, so these are the history. What are the running, and how does my CPU performance? memory, everything. So if there was a sudden changes, the CPU suddenly went 90% and a lot of unwanted process are creating. So, see here, if there was some unwanted process are creating. So all these are a behavior based. So which is not a known malware. It is all behavior based. So there was a EDR have the EDR is integrated with the AI and machine learning capabilities and machine learning algorithms which are capable of detecting these behaviors. So then it will send you an alert that, oh yeah, this system is behavior is abnormal. Please do the investigation. So that you have to investigate further in the system level what is happening. So that is the security analyst responsibility. Okay, that is the analyst responsibility. At the same time, if there was any unwanted software is downloaded by the user, so you must have to investigate with the user why he has downloaded the software, and you have to communicate them to delete because that software is not a standard process and it is a malicious. Okay, so those kind of work the level 1 security people will be doing. So majorly your work also will be the when your job will be something monitoring, detection and response, so your job will be the same. Okay, so any questions? So two types. One is known signatures. If there was a known signatures, you are updating the endpoint AV servers, that is the AV administrator, antivirus administrator will be uploading or updating the known malware signatures. Known malware signature. Okay, for example, the thief have the, so how do you know that this guy was a thief? There was a certain signatures, there was a certain proofs are there, there was a certain things are there that he was a thief. Okay, so like you see that there was a police station, there was a all the thieves are photos and everything was there visible to everyone. Why? So they are a known thief, they are somewhere they done a, so వాళ్ళు ఎక్కడో దొంగతనం చేస్తుంటారు. So that's the reason they are a well-known thieves. And so if somebody coming near to them, so they can identify if the people in the railway station. So if their photos are visible, everybody aware that this guy is a danger. So if the guy, if this, if the thief was coming near to you, you will be careful, right? So the same way here also, the known malware things will be known malware attacks, known IPs related to malware should be updated, so that if the same malware was coming, then it will be blocked. So unknown is EDR. That's why EDR is a next generation antivirus tool, which is have the capability of the behavior based. Okay, so the behavior based is something, there was a guy was coming and he's, you don't know whether he's a no he's a really the thief or not, so you're not sure. So based on the behavior of the thief, if the guy was doing differently, he was trying to come near you and trying to touch your bag, or you're trying to do some other, he was trying to do some other activities which are something behavior, based on the behavior also you can decide whether he was a really a normal person or thief. Okay, that's a, even here also the antivirus next generation have antivirus have the capabilities to analyze the system behavior, analyze the system based on the behavior of a system. Okay, so that's the difference between AV and, so even the next generation also have the next generation EDR also have the signature detections. If there's a known malware, IPs, hash values, and everything will be loaded. Apart from that, these are the additional features the EDR have. That is a behavior based. So it takes a decision based on the behavior of the system. Okay, any questions? Okay, fine. So if you don't have a question, so we'll just wind up the session. Okay, and so just remind me if something
Uh,
just
Actually, in every servers, in database, it having you told some example like database already having some hash values. With it will compare with known malwares. No, uh,
yeah, correct.
if it is newly if it is newly identified, then how it will be react for the
Yeah, that's what.
new malware?
Yeah, it's if it is unknown, if it is a new type of attack, and they're not using the same hash values or IP values what previously used. So it's again that's why the EDR. So if something unknown malware is coming to your system, so definitely there was a changes in your system. So
Yes,
it was the behavior was not a normal. So if your system is going as usual, that is a normal behavior. If your system was suddenly, some process, unwanted process are created. So if the malware has been executed, definitely there was some process, abnormal process will be created. So the EDR have that capability. EDR have that capabilities to identify this unknown process, unknown,
as well
unknown.
as known, unknown and known both. No, okay.
Yeah, so that's what that's a EDR solution. They have the capabilities to identify the behavior of the system. It's not only depend on a known malware IPs domain hash value. It is also have the capabilities or a feature of the behavior of the system. So if the system behavior will be not a normal. Okay, so there was always a normal versus abnormal, right? So if the system behavior was not a normal, so then it creates it sends an alarm to alert to the security engineer. The security engineer has to investigate. So there was a lot of a lot of times it will be a genuine activity. For example, there was a Windows administrator was running a PowerShell, okay, which is creating a. So he wanted to create 100 new users. So there was 100 new users joined in the company. He has run a script. He has run a script called PowerShell script. Okay, so those cases also you will be getting an alerted because it was a big script and there was another reasons it will be you will get an alert. So you have to confirm with the who has run this and so who is the owner of this script, who has run this script, and whether this activity was a really the genuine activity or some or the company, the server owner is aware of this activity. So you have to investigate these things. So you have to reach out to the server owner. Hey, this specific script was running in your system. Was this running by you? Are you aware of this activity? So you have to shoot a questions to them. Okay, then the whoever ran that or whoever maintaining that server, they will be reply to them. If they knows, they will reply. If they are not, hey, I don't know who run this, then yeah, so then those cases it's something malicious. So yeah, Sudeep Reddy, this proxies paid service, yes, absolutely, this is a proxy, is a paid service. There was a McAfee is also giving a proxy service, and the Cisco is also providing a, or someone has to create a manually. Yes, proxy is a device. Proxy is a device, and you have to purchase the proxy. So there was a lot of vendors are there like a McAfee, Proxy, McAfee, Cisco. They are providing the proxy service. And inside, once you purchase the proxy, then you can configure all this all what you want to allow, what you not to allow. So you have to configure. It's like how do you routers, switches, firewalls, like that only a proxy also a device. So again, it comes to you in your system. In your system settings also, you can configure the proxy. that's a different case. That is not the proxy what I'm telling. So proxy, we have a separate device. So from that device, you will be getting an alerts. So just remind